What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to be looking at 3 news stories for the Detroit Lions for today. Yes, it's Detroit Lions news time. I don't know why I did that. Are we going to call that the Detroit hour, even though it's not an hour like Detroit? 9 minutes? 11 minutes, it just depends. Detroit, 8 minutes, starting now. Let's get it started. First story we have of the day is by ESPN, and ESPN came out with an article that I read today that I didn't want to see. It said that there is no chance the Detroit Lions will select Tua Tagovailoa. No, that's not what we want to see, dog. We're trying to sell this thing like crazy, but now I'm seeing articles like this, and not very happy about it. But you never know. I mean, there's so many smoke screens. This could be a smoke screen for another smoke screen. I really don't know what's going on at this point, guys. I'm so dang confused. I'm just waiting for the draft to just see what happens, because there's so many like these screens and just lying and just rumors. It's like, oh my goodness, can we just know what happens already? Like, I just want to time travel or something. Like, this stuff is crazy. Anyways, the report said there's no chance the Detroit Lions select Tua. Matthew Berry had a source that he's very close with that said that he believes the Detroit Lions during the combine, this came out, he believes that the Detroit Lions have no chance of drafting Tua Tagovailoa. Like, they won't do it. And, yeah, that's not a really good thing. We don't want that rumor going around there, or at least that word going around there. We want it to seem like, yeah, we definitely want Tua. So that's not good. However, they talk about why they believe this, and these are all reasons that we already knew. One of the reasons was because, the whole dead money and all that, and all the contract situation just wouldn't make any sense financially. The second reason was that the Detroit Lions really speak highly of Matthew Stafford. I'm not just saying, the facts where they say, it's comical, or Bob Quinn says it's 100% false. Those things definitely have an impact, but it's more the things where you listen to Matt Patricia talk when he's asked about Matthew Stafford. It says he loves the guy, and that's one of the reasons he came to Detroit. Like, that's high praise for your quarterback. You don't just say that for everybody. Like, this is why I came here, because of the quarterback. Like, a lot of times, a new coach will come to a team without a quarterback because that team's bad, so they're not going to have a quarterback. Matt Patricia was in the position to come to a team that had a great quarterback, and I'm sure he knows how hard it is to find a new quarterback. So Matt Patricia knows this stuff. He ain't dumb, all right? Some people would say he is. I'm not saying he's dumb, all right? This guy was like a rocket scientist or something. He ain't dumb. I don't think we're going to draft Tua either, but I do want that rumor going around. I do want to trade back, y'all. After looking at how draft works out and the percentages of getting players and like them actually working out and how many good players we need this year, I definitely want to be able to trade back if we can. Obviously, if Chase Young's there, I'd take a Chase Young, or even Simmons. I wouldn't be mad. There's so many guys I wouldn't be mad with, but if we could trade back still, I would still be definitely happy about that. So I really want this smokescreen to work. I don't care who we trade back with, if it's the Chargers, if it's the Raiders, as long as we get a nice return. It could just be a smokescreen or someone just making up a false rumor, which we've heard a couple of. So yeah, you just really can't believe anything these days. I'm not your grandpa. I'm not saying these days. I'm sorry about that. I think older people say that. I've never heard someone young say these days. Like, come on, man. What do you mean these are the days? Like, these are the only days I know. So what am I talking about? All right, let's move on to the next story. The next story we have is about Chase Young. He's getting a lot of criticism recently, which is crazy to me because why? Well, why, you may ask? Why would he be getting criticism? Because of what he said and how his comment was about the NFL Combine. So as many of us know by now, Chase Young did not compete in the Combine. Probably know every single measurement because, everybody would be talking about it. But he did not compete in the Combine. And when he was asked why he didn't compete in the Combine, like, why would you not do that? He said, I don't want to waste my time trying to be a Combine athlete. Dang. I feel like that's not trying to disrespect the other players there. It's more just like, I'm not going to waste my time trying to do all these measurables when I can just be working on my game, which is really what it comes down to. The thing is, the measurables are great, and I feel like they're great for players that are trying to move up the draft board. A lot of players in the draft are like 3rd, 4th round, and they have really good measurables, and all of a sudden teams are getting interested. Peoples-Jones with the vertical jump and all that broad jump and stuff, like that looks really good for him because I feel like he was a wide receiver that could slip a little bit. He may go higher because of that kind of stuff. A guy like Chase Young, it's not going to help him. Only thing that he can do is possibly hurt himself. There's nothing that he can do with that combine unless he runs a 3.3 or something wild like that, and the Bengals are like, oh my gosh, forget Joe Burrow, we need this guy. Like, that's the only thing that could possibly happen. So he can't really help himself. The only thing he can do is hurt himself in both two ways. Either one, he'll have a terrible performance and everybody's gonna be like, wow, maybe we shouldn't draft this guy. Or two, not only would he have a terrible performance, but the second thing is he could hurt himself. You know how many guys we used to get hurt at the Combine? All right, that's not something that Chase Young needs to risk or wants to risk. I will not criticize him for the comment. I don't think it was a shot at anybody. I think it was him spitting facts. Why would he do it? It's smart for him. It's a dumb decision for him to try to compete in the Combine. I'm glad he did not compete in the Combine. I don't need to see your 40, Chase. I don't care what your 40 is, Chase. I really don't. For Isaiah Simmons, he ran a 4.39. I mean, he may have not been. I think Isaiah Simmons maybe the most talented player in this draft. I think you can definitely make that debate. However, I think Simmons, we've seen Moxie fall sometimes. It's good for Simmons, and it worked out perfectly. But for Chase Young, there's literally nowhere up because it's quarterback and then it's Young. That's how everybody's looking at this. There's nothing he could have done. So I don't think these are a shot at anybody. I think it's smart that he didn't compete. I mean, look at Joe Burrow didn't compete. Why would he compete? What is he going to do? What can he possibly do to help himself? Absolutely nothing. Unless he wants to get drafted for last year or this year. I don't know how that's possible. There's literally nothing he can do. I know Tua Tagovailoa, he hurt himself. He could have potentially been the first pick in the draft this year if he didn't get hurt, right? But he did. So why risk any chance of an injury? Now, it didn't happen at the combine with Tua, but he hurt himself during the season. Why risk an injury if you're good to this point? I don't blame at all Chase Young, and I'm actually glad that he didn't participate in it. Those 40 times, whatever it may have been, really wouldn't have changed my mind unless it was awful, which again could only hurt him. So, Chase Young, glad you didn't compete, glad you're healthy, and maybe you'll be a Lion. Maybe it's Try Turner. I think it's Try Turner. I think that's how you say his name. Offensive lineman for the Carolina Panthers. So right now, a lot of people are kind of linking him to the Detroit Lions. Now, I will talk about a few other players. A lot of people think Chris Jones could potentially be an option for us. A lot of people think Byron Jones could be. Now, let me just hop in here real quick and talk a little bit about Byron Jones and Chris Harris. Both of the free agents that are available. I kind of messed up the wording there a little bit. Both of these guys are going to be free agents. It was news kind of recently when the Cowboys decided that they're going to, let him become a free agent. And Chris Harris, we kind of knew for a while. Like, we were interested in him at the trade deadline. Now he's a free agent, so we don't even have to worry about trading for anything. We could just go bring him in. If we trade Darius Slay, this could be a replacement. He could be our number 2. There's a lot of different options, and I think this is kind of just starting to heat up because of all the Darius Slay talk. But Chris Harris, who's a 30-year-old cornerback, set to become 31 years old, obviously. He has been pretty good in his last few years. He still has come up with 4 interceptions in the last 2 seasons. 2018, he gave up 3 interceptions. Looking at his advanced stats, where I really like to look, he gave up 64.8% completion percentage in 2018 and a 67.1% completion percentage in 2019, 112 passer rating in 2019, and he also gave up 4 touchdowns. Now, 2018, he was definitely better. It could be either the age showing or just sometimes that's just how it works out. Not as good as Darius Slay, but he has had a pretty solid season for his age, and I feel like he could be a solid replacement. If you get pressure, I think Chris Harris is going to look a lot better. I think that's how it works with all cornerbacks, and that's why Darius Slay is so impressive to me, because we weren't getting pressure at all last season, and he still had really good stats. That's why he was so impressive to me when you look at the advanced stats on his completions allowed and stuff like that, and his percentages allowed. So that's really nice. And when you look at Byron Jones statistically, he actually looks even better when it comes to the advanced stats. This last season, 53% completion percentage allowed, and only an 87 passer rating allowed. So he makes a lot of sense to me. Only 27 years old, going up on 28. He's probably going to cost a little bit more, so I would say that. Byron Jones does make sense. He doesn't have the interceptions that are like what people usually look at. You look at cornerbacks, and the first thing you look at is how many interceptions he has. 0, well, he was bad. No, you got I like looking at these advanced stats a little bit more to see like what they were actually allowing. I feel like Byron Jones makes more sense with the age, because if you do sign him to a multi-year contract, it would make sense. Chris Harris could be a 1-year deal. I feel like a guy like Byron Jones could be a 3, possibly 4-year deal. Probably like 3 is probably where you would cut that thing off, because he's still been good, and what he could do, he could actually potentially probably replace a guy like Darius Slay if we got some picks in return, and we put him there. We could replace him maybe for a year as long as we get more pressure. If we get more pressure, these guys are going to look a lot better. So I just wanted to hop in, point that out, and now let's get back into the video. Pretty sure we all know about the rumors right now. Byron Jones, another interesting one. That one's a little bit different because we haven't heard much about Byron Jones and became a free agent. So yes, they could be linked to him. I feel like there's a lot of cornerbacks out there, pretty much all of them, the Lions could be linked to it in some way because they may lose Darius Slay. That's really what it comes down to. Oh, Lions are interested in this guy. That's because they might lose Darius Slay. They have to be interested in somebody. What are they going to do? Just put no one out there if they trade Darius Slay? So yeah, I'm not surprised. But we were talking about Try Turner here, who is apparently being shopped by the Carolina Panthers, and that's a different thing. When you're getting shopped and the team is actively looking to trade you, kind of like we're doing with Darius Slay, that's what Try Turner is getting here. And some people think this would be a good fit for the Detroit Lions. Now, there's a couple of good things that come with Try Turner that I definitely makes me interested. One, he's only 26 years old, which is not old at all. Very good. 26 years old, that means, he's got a long time to grow, a long time to get better. He still has 2 years on his current contract, which means we don't have to pay him right away. You could hold him for 2 years, see how he does, and then you could give him the contract extension, or you could just not. So that's 2 good things. Third thing, he's relatively healthy. I haven't seen him miss really any more than 3 games in a season at all. So that's a good thing. So overall, Try Turner looks good. However, when you get to the performance aspect, it's not great, but it's not terrible, okay? He was in 5 straight Pro Bowls from my understanding. However, that's why the Pro Bowl to me doesn't mean too much. And when I look at how good a player is, I don't say, okay, well, he's been in 6 Pro Bowls, he's good. That doesn't mean anything to me because Try Turner, to me, statistically, if you look at Pro Football Focus, if you look at sacks allowed, he's not as good as Graham Glasgow. He's probably not as versatile as Graham Glasgow, but yet Graham Glasgow wasn't in the Pro Bowl. So to me, it doesn't really mean a lot, okay? Pro Bowl pretty much means nothing when it comes to talent. All right, Kenny Galladay was one of the best wide receivers in the league, and he barely got in the Pro Bowl. Can we just stop with the whole joke of that means anything? It doesn't mean anything. It's pretty much a popularity contest, and I'm okay with that because that's what it is. People want to see their favorite player, and if your favorite player is not Graham Glasgow, okay, that's cool. Obviously, my Pro Bowl would be Lions playing Lions. I mean, it's kind of weird, but that's probably what it would be because those are all my favorite players. Pro Bowl means pretty much nothing to me. So that thing I kind of just throw out the window. Now I look at some Pro Football Focus grades. 2019 is 63.9, 2018 65.8, and 2017 a 72.6. Graham Glasgow was hovering around that 70 range, a little above 70 here and there. He's a good / above average type of line for us that can do a lot of different things. His grades are better than this. 17 was really good for Ty Turner. The thing is, he's young and he's relatively healthy, which could make him a potential fit for us. That 2-year deal that I said he had left is $20.5 million, which is probably less than what Graham's going to get paid. However, he's only going to last you 2 years, and he may not be as good as Graham. But if you do get rid of Graham Glasgow and you do trade him, or you not trade him, if you let him walk and you save that money, a guy like Ty Turner could make sense in a potential trade, just because you need someone to replace him. It's not like you're getting as great of a player. Maybe not. Maybe you are. Maybe you're not. You're still getting a young guy. He could be better. I'm not saying he won't be. Maybe in a different system he'll be better. But I will say it could be an option for the Detroit Lions. That's what I would say. Now, if they're asking highs is super high and they're like, hey, give us a first, like, forget that. Get out of here. You guys are wild. I mean, maybe a third. I'll throw you a third. Like, yeah, y'all are probably like, wow, you're asking price super high for Slay, but it's not. The theirs can't be high. Well, no, it can't be high because it's Darius freaking Slay. Okay, I don't care. I'm sticking to my guns on this one. All right, I want a high return for Slay. This dude, I'm not giving him a second-round pick for a lineman that's not as good as Glasgow. I'm just being honest. They're the same age. Pay Glasgow if you're going to do that. But if you're giving me, I'd say maybe third at the max, a fourth, something like that, maybe a player. I don't know. I think Ty Turner could be a fit for us, potentially via trade. I think a lot of those cornerbacks do make sense, and I wouldn't say that the rumors are false. I'm not saying the rumors are false with Chris Harris and Byron Jones. I'm saying that the rumors are rumors because they've been rumors for a long time that we've been interested, right? We've heard these a long time ago. They're going to be interested. They have to be interested. They need a backup cornerback. They need another quarterback, especially if Darius Slay leaves. And even if Slay stays, they're probably going to need number 2. So they don't get Okudah, and they're planning on not getting Okudah. If you sign someone to put across them, and then boom, you got your 2 cornerbacks, and you're kind of good and you're set for other needs. So that is the Detroit Lions news for today. Let me know your thoughts. Are you trading for Ty Turner? What are you going to give in return for a guy like Ty Turner? Chase Young, are you mad about what he had to say? Personally, I'm not. And ESPN saying that we have no chance on drafting Tua. Are you happy about this, or are you mad about this, and do you want Tua? Let's start it. Do you guys want Tua Tagovailoa? I'm not really going to get into the debate too much. Y'all know I don't really want him at 3. I say every time, if we got him, I wouldn't cry, but I don't want him at 3. I'd rather go elsewhere. I'm saying I don't want to get a quarterback. I do want to get another quarterback. I just wouldn't go at 3. But you guys let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.